Very much, Adam. You know, maybe we should just resort to the old-fashioned way of predicting what's going to happen by reading the tea leaves.
Worked in the past.
It did, you know.
Look at that.
Oh, look. That bodes well, doesn't it? That's no help either. Maybe we'll have more joy with these things. Yes, the old tarot cards.
Yes, it was a century ago that these cards went from being the preserve of mystics and occultists to the mainstay of front parlours across the land.
Angelica Bell looks at tarot's timeline.
Where do we go? Nobody knows.
Whether we're prepared to admit it or not, most of us are quite seduced at the mysterious powers of someone looking into our future.
And tarot cards certainly are mysterious. Now, some say they started life in ancient Egypt, with compelling symbols like these found hidden in secret chambers under the pyramids.
Others say they were ordinary playing cards, first used by Italian nobility, that fortune tellers latched onto in the 18th century.
But 100 years ago, the tarot got a new lease of life when the cards got a facelift and a book of instructions to go with them. Suddenly, the secrets of the tarot were revealed.
Arthur Edward Waite was an unlikely expert of the mystic. Alongside editing the Horlicks drink magazine, he revised the tarot cards to make them easier to understand. He commissioned artist Pamela Coleman-Smith to illustrate all the cards that were previously just numbers.
And in 1910, Waite published a book explaining what those illustrations meant. It was called The Pictorial Key to the Tarot. Now, anyone, it seemed, could be a tarot reader.
A century later, Debbie Winterbourne now teaches tarot to the masses with the help of Waite's cards.
Before the Rider-Waite, you had different decks, like this one, where you wouldn't have any pictures, just a number. So if I, for example, show you this card here and tell you it's the 10 of Wands, what would you think it might mean?
I think we were going to play noughts and crosses or something.
Yeah. Yeah. It's clueless, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
There's not much to get from the picture. But Arthur Edward Waite put pictures on lots of the tarot cards. So this is the 10 of Wands now. Have a guess at what you think that means.
That he's got a lot of burdens he's got to carry through things.
You've got it. That's it. So the definition of this card is someone being overburdened.
When the books came out with the cards, it suddenly meant that you had the imagery and you had a key to the imagery. Before then, the information on how to decode the symbolism of the cards was actually a sworn secret to mystical societies. Waite was being quite rebellious in saying he was going to make this accessible to anyone who bought the book. I think he was just enchanted and in love with the mysticism of the cards, and like many people who fall in love, he wanted the world to know.
Whatever Waite's motivations for publishing, his book and cards were welcomed with open arms by the public. So, what was it in 1910 that made everyone so eager for tarot?
In around 1910, what's extraordinary is that the late Victorian Edwardians were in kind of a backlash against this era of Darwinism, of the invention of electricity, and people kind of worshipping science. And then there's this whole wave saying, yes, but there's a lot that science can't explain.
Some say that's why the Victorians developed a fascination with the occult and magic. It was like an alternative faith. Also, tarot and seances were an excuse for a bit of a get-together. And things haven't changed much today.
We're 100 years on now from Waite's time. It's the internet age. We've learnt about our genetic makeup, even photographed the surface of Mars. So who now would still believe a set of cards could tell you anything?
Plenty of people, it seems. Tarot still has an audience. These ladies are about to hear some home truths, revealed by tarot reader Anya Marchik.
Do you honestly believe that a set of tarot cards could tell you anything about your lives?
My logical head doesn't really make head or tail of it, but I think it's just part of me. It's just curiosity, really.
Logically, how can turning over a few cards predict your future?
It's not really about believing. I don't believe in my horoscopes, but I'm just curious to see what they might say.
Why do we look to the future? I don't know, but we do.
You may believe in the cards, you may think it's all hocus pocus, but curiosity about peering into the future has always been part of human nature. And that's what Arthur Waite latched onto 100 years ago. He saw his own future definitely lay in the cards.